And as you find your comfortable seat, just take a moment to sit up as tall as you can. And then take the palms to face upward today. Palms are facing upward, collarbone is lifted, chest is nice and broad. And then sit back ever so slightly so you feel like the lower belly muscles start to fire up, just a touch. And then close your eyes if you didn't already. So you're in your comfortable seat, however that looks for you today. And just taking a moment to close your eyes so that you can switch off your mind from everything else that's happening in the room around you. And just take a moment to be still in your body. And switching off the sense of sight. Reducing the information that's coming into your mind in this moment. And just notice how it feels to be here in stillness. With nothing else to look at, nothing else to need to be doing. And notice how it feels to take a nice big breath in through the nose, that feeling of lifting up taller through the spine, the heart awakening and opening. Chest and lungs expanding, full of fresh energy. And then just notice how it feels as you exhale, drawing that energy out of the body, and everything that expanded comes back towards center. With every breath that you take in, just welcome in a fresh moment in time. More energy for the day ahead. And with every breath out, just imagine any stresses, any thoughts that are lingering in your world, in your mind, in your body, just let them be carried away. Letting go of any attachment to them. And notice how in this way you're becoming aware of the breath coming in. And you're becoming aware of the breath working its way away. And that gives you a simple focus for your mind to concentrate on. And as you follow the breath with this little detail of awareness, you might hear things around you from time to time, but I want you to just take a moment to acknowledge all of the sounds, the sensations, the smells that might be in the room or the near space around you. And see if you can let all of those things that are happening around you continue to exist there, but not to be a distraction for you in this moment and in the moments to follow as we start to move together. And just check in with how you're feeling after the first couple of minutes of just being with your body, with your breath in this place of stillness. And let's see if we can carry this focus, this clarity with us throughout the practice. Making our physical journey more easy in terms of our balance, our presence. Combining it with this sense of ease mentally as well. 2 more breaths. And when the second breath is complete, just slowly start to open the eyes. And once the eyes are open, let's just gently lift the hips, release the block from underneath, and place the block somewhere near the top of the mat. And go ahead and just lie yourself down ever so briefly. Lie down onto your back. And we're going to take a bend in the knees, feet are to the floor, and let's cross the left ankle over the right knee. Flex the foot, and then figure 4. So you're going to pick up the right foot from the ground and just wrap your arms around the right leg, either the back of the leg or perhaps around the shin, and draw the left shin towards your body. So you're going to feel it through the outside of the left hip. So we want a little bit of space in this outer hip so that when we come to our various eagle shapes, whether it be with the arms or legs, there's a little bit of freedom in certain parts of the body. And a little bit of strength that we can tap into in other parts of the body. Take another big breath just here. And then release the shin or the leg. Place the foot back down to the ground. Now bring your arms alongside the body and push the palms into the ground. And push into the right foot, just lifting the hips and the lower back away from the ground. And let that left knee be like you're trying to push it down towards the ground, trying to keep the shin parallel-ish to the ground. And then check in with the hip bones. You can use your fingers if you want to. You're trying to keep the hip bones level with each other. And if you tap the outside of your glutes, your buttocks, they should be firing up along with the hamstrings to help you here. Just for a breath. And then just slowly start to lower yourself down and change feet. So right ankle crosses over left knee now. And then pick up left foot away from the ground. Wrap your hands around the right leg, wherever that may be for you. Flex the feet if that's comfortable and manageable for you. And then draw the knee in towards center. Draw the shin in towards you. And notice how it feels through the outside of the right hip. Notice if it feels similar or different to the first side. Shoulders are relaxed to the ground. Take another couple of breaths here, just exploring space, exploring areas that feel like they're a little bit resistant. When the second breath is finished, release the left leg, left foot to the floor, arms alongside the body, palms facing down. Push into the hands, push into left foot, lift the hips and lower back away from the ground, and then draw that right knee kind of out and down. And then check in with the hip bones, those sticky out bones on the top of the front of the pelvic bowl. Try and keep them in line. And just notice how it feels. Keep pushing into that left foot. Feel the power in the legs. And a little bit of awakening. Last breath. And then lower the hips, lower the bottom to the ground. Cross right leg over left. Pick up left foot. And wrap the shins around each other if you can here. And then lower the feet down to the ground. And probably it's just going to be the left foot that touches the floor. And that's okay. All right, and then take your arms up to the sky, fingers facing up. Cross the right arm over the top of left. Bend the elbows, wrap the arms around each other, however you can do that. Doesn't matter if it's palms or backs of hands coming together. And then kind of reach the fingers just away from center at the moment. We're not trying to stretch, we're just setting ourselves up for what's happening. And then lift the feet from the ground, draw the lower belly into the spine, so lower back pushes into the earth, and then lift head, neck, and shoulders. And can you bring the knees and elbows to touch? Okay, stay there. And then lower the feet to the ground, fingers to the ground, overhead. 4 more times. Inhale, lower belly to the ground, and then lift up. So lower belly pushing into the spine, spine pushing into the ground, elbows and knees tap. Upper back away from the ground. And then lower yourself down. Inhale, lift yourself up, elbows, knees tap. Hold it there. And then feet to the ground. 2 more. Inhale, lift and rise. So it's a crunch on our back in eagle pose, and then toes to the ground. This is our last one. So lift up. Hold it there. Relax the jaw if you can. Little smile just for a moment. And then release everything down to the ground. Unwind the legs, unwind the arms. Come into a nice long full body stretch. Okay, setting a little bit of intention and fire in the belly. And then place the feet to the ground. Arms back alongside the body. This time cross left leg over right leg. And just tap the right foot to the ground. Take the arms up towards the sky. Cross left arm over right arm this time. Bend the elbows, wrap the arms around each other, hands meet wherever they can, if they can. And then lift the feet away from the ground. Squeeze the inner thighs in towards each other. Belly draws to spine. Spine pushes into the ground beneath us. And then we lift the upper body. Elbows and knees come towards each other. And then lower yourself down, fingers and feet to the floor. 4 more rounds. Inhale, lifting and holding. Inner thighs working, arms wrapped tightly, and then exhale, lower down. Inhale, lifting and crunching. Exhale, lowering down. 2 more. Inhale, lift and crunch. Exhale, lower. Last one, lift and crunch, hold it. And then unwind, reach it all the way into a full body stretch. Fingers and toes, spread the fingers and toes wide, reach the fingers and toes away from each other. Nice big breath. And then hug the knees back in towards the chest, take hold of the back of the thighs, and keep that strength in the core as you rock and roll yourself back and forth. And that little fire in the belly is going to keep you rocking and rolling with control rather than momentum. And then eventually lift yourself up to a seat. Turn so you can see me easily. And then bring your left knee down, first of all, knee pointing forward, foot to the outside of right hip, and then stack right leg on top. Okay, so cow face legs. Sit nice and tall. And then take your right hand down to the ground, little bend in the elbow, left hand up to the sky. So I'm not mirroring you, I'm doing the same side as you. And then lean over to the right side. So you're feeling it through left side body. And the weight of that right leg on top of the left leg just gives you a little bit more space through here. Take another big breath. And then come slowly back up through to center. Change the cross of the legs. Try not to use your hands, but of course, if you need to, do. And then left hand down to the ground, sweep right hand up to the sky, soften left elbow as you reach over with right fingers. And just notice how that feels. You can feel it anywhere from the outer hip through to the armpit, anything in between. Space in the lower back, space in between the ribs. Nice big breath. And then gradually you'll come back up to center. Now unwind the legs again without hands if you can help it. Come on over into tabletop position. Hands nice and wide, hips above the knees. Inhale, nice and slowly, soften the belly, reach the chest forward, shoulders draw back, so nice and active with the cat and cow. As we exhale, push the ground away with the hands, chin to chest, rounding through every single vertebra in the spine here. Inhale back through center, chest opens, front body opens. And then exhale, rounding through the spine, pushing the ground away, separating the shoulder blades, space coming into the lower back. 3 more rounds like this. And think of this as getting into those connection points between upper and lower body. Connection points between our arms and our legs as well. A little mobility through the spine. The spaces that allow us to breathe more fully, more easily. And when these muscles are free to work with space to do so, we can have a little bit more balance as well. The last one. And then when you finish the exhale that you're on, come on back to neutral and tuck the toes under, lift the knees, downward facing dog. Now walk the dog, so you're lifting one heel, bending the same knee, getting into the back of the legs. Hands are pushing the earth away, hips are lifting high. There's lots and lots of length and space in the spine here. Just notice how that feels each time that you reach a heel down towards the ground through the back of the legs. Hands really pushing the ground away, hips are high, so there's all of that space in between the vertebrae of the spine. And let's just slowly start to lift the right leg up high. And then exhale, bend the knee, heel to bottom, knee to the sky. Hands are equal weighting, pushing the ground away. And you're reaching back and down through that left heel, so you're feeling a stretch through the back of the left leg. Big, big breath. And then slowly start to draw the knee towards the nose, soften left knee. And can you cross right leg over left leg here? Can you wrap the foot around the shin and just get really small into that position here? Take a breath. And then unwind, take the right leg up to the sky again. Okay, and then let's do it one more time. Bend both knees, wrap right leg over left leg, wrap the foot around the shin if you can, and weight into left hand, come onto the outside edge of left foot, right hand up to the sky. And just bend the knees as if you're drawing your hips down towards your heels, okay, and reach right arm forward. Take a big breath here. And then lower right hand to the ground, unwind the legs, take the leg back up to the sky, and then step the foot between the hands, left knee down. Top of the foot to the floor, lift the fingers high. So you're going to sink down into the legs. Belly draws in and up, squeezing the inner thighs in towards each other. Take a nice big breath here, gripping the earth with the feet, top and bottom of alternate feet. And I want you to take your left arm forward, cross your right arm over the top, bend the elbows, and wrap the arms around each other. Lift the fingers up, reach the elbows away from your face. Take a nice big breath. And then just start to lean forwards a little, not too much. Tuck left toes under, lift the knee. So you're coming into a crescent, leaning forward a bit. Reach away through the left heel to get steady. Keep leaning forward, unwind the arms, eagle arms open. So take the arms out wide, you're lifting up with the back of the hands. Nice big breath. And then lift the torso, left arm on top, wrap the arms around each other. Now lean back, lift up with the fingers. Notice how that gives you even more stretch through the front of that left hip. And then lean forward again, open the wings up, strengthening through the upper back. Reach away through the left heel here. Core and psoas working. And then one more time, left arm over right, lift up, fingers to the sky, sink into the hips. And then last one, lean forward, open those wings up, nice and strong through the back body here. And then left hand to the ground, right hand up to the sky, lean back with the shoulder and chest as if the wing is opening in this direction as well. And then hand to the ground, step back to downward facing dog. Hands push the earth away, hips reaching high, spine long. Weight into the right foot, left leg rises, and then exhale, bend the knee, heel to bottom. And as you're lifting up through left knee, heel to bottom, right heel reaching down, thigh reaching back. Take a nice big breath here. And then slowly start to square the hips to the ground. Soften both knees. Wrap left leg over right leg here. Wrap the foot and shin around each other if you can. Really squeeze in. Hands push the earth away. And then unwind the leg. Take it back to three-legged downward dog. And then one more time, soften both knees. Left leg wraps over right leg, squeezing the legs into each other. And then weight into right hand. Come onto the outside edge of right foot here. Lift left hand up to the sky. And then sort of lower your heels and your hips rather towards your heels. And then reach left hand up and forward. Okay, a little bit of a funky shape, I know. And then left hand to the ground. Travel back to three-legged downward dog. And then step left foot between the hands, right knee down this time. Come onto the top of the foot, lift those fingers high. Sink into the hips. Belly in and up. Side waist nice and long. Imagine those inner thighs gripping, even though they can't physically touch right now. One more breath. And then we're going to take our right arm forward. Take our left arm over the top. Bend the elbows, wrap the arms around each other. Fingers lift up, elbows reach away. Sink down into the hips. Okay, so we are getting into the upper back. And as we sink down into the hip, we're getting into the front of the right hip here. And then just lean forward a touch. Tuck right toes under, lift the knee. Reach away with the right heel. Keep leaning forward if you can. Nice big breath, strong through the feet. And then open the wings up, reach back through the back of the hands. So you're strengthening through the back line of the body here. Gaze down. And then reach the arms forward, right arm on top, bend the elbows. So opposite to before, fingers up. Lift the torso, lean back. And then lean forward as you open up the wings, fingers reaching back. Okay. Lift the torso, right arm on top, bend the elbows, lift up through the fingers. We've got one last round. Lean forward, unwind the arms, reach the arms up to the sky behind you. And then look down, right hand to the ground, left hand up to the sky, draw the shoulder back. Big breath. And then hand to the floor, step right foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, spine long. And then exhale, fold. Belly to spine, roll yourself up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, up to standing. And let's bring the hands to heart center. Collarbone broad, imagine a block in between the thighs, okay? Squeezing inner thighs in towards each other. Doesn't mean they're gonna touch. Feet are a little bit apart. And as you inhale, I want you to release the fingers upward. Imagine a block in between the hands. And then bend the knees, sink into chair. Sink into chair. Still with that imaginary block in between the thighs. And then a little bit like we lie on the floor in the beginning, weight into the right foot. Cross left ankle over right knee. So it's that one-legged chair. Try and keep the hips in line if you can. And then I want you to take your right arm on top of left. Wrap the arms around, lift the fingers up. And you're either gazing forward or gazing down to the ground. Left foot is nice and flexed. And we're not really trying to open upper back here. We're trying to kind of strengthen around the spine. Awaken some power in the glutes. Take another breath. And then keep the arms as they are. Start to straighten right leg, left knee in towards the chest. Find your balance, right big toe pushing down. And then straighten out left leg as you hinge forward from the hips, coming into warrior three with eagle arms. Roll that left thigh in just a touch. Reach the fingers further forward. Gaze on something steady. One more breath. Now release the arms, soften both knees, lift the torso, come back into chair. Okay, come back into chair. This is a taster for the chair flow tomorrow. Sink into hips. Belly draws in, weight to left foot. Pick up right foot, cross the ankle now over, just like we did on the first side. Find your balance, find where you're going to gaze. Take a breath. And then slowly, take your left arm over the top of right, bend the elbows, wrap the arms around, lift up through fingers. Sink into the hips more, if you can. Find a steady gaze for your focus. A little smile on the face. Notice how when you're standing on one foot with your arms tied up, there's very few places your mind can wander if you want to stay steady. So stay with the breath. And then just slowly start to straighten left leg, draw right knee in towards the chest. And then hinge forward from the hips as you straighten out right leg behind you, torso and body parallel to the ground. Fingers reach forward, heel reaches back. Roll that right thigh in a little. Gaze down is easiest for me. Plant the left big toe down firmly. Strong through the back line of the body. And then unwind the arms, fingers reach forward, bend the knees, come back into chair. And then exhale, forward fold. And just release for a moment here. Shake it out. And then roll yourself up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Hands to heart center here. And then once you're standing, sweep those arms up to the sky. If you can, interlace the fingers above the head. If not, just reach the hands towards each other. Exhale over to the right, feeling it through the left side body here. Come back through center and then over to the second side. Come back through center, hands travel together through heart center as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, spine long. Hands down, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra for the first round. Chest lifts, upper back strong. And then lower back down. Push into the hands, inhale again, cobra, a little bit higher, still with a bend in the elbows. Chest reaching forward, back body strong. And then tuck those toes under, lift up through plank, downward facing dog. Nice big breath as you lift the hips high. Hands push the earth away. Slow everything down. And then inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, bend the knee, heel to bottom. Nice big breath. Lift the knee a little higher if you can. And then slowly soften, square the hips to the ground, soften both knees. Take right leg, cross it over left leg. Squeeze the feet around the shin if you can. And then this time, come onto right hand inside of left foot. Okay? And then left hand up to the sky. And then lift the hips up a little away from the ground. And then reach left hand forward, so a nice side body stretch with the weight of right leg on top of left, a little bit like when we started on the ground. Big breath. And then take left hand to the ground, come onto the ball of right foot, right leg reaches up to the sky. And then you're going to step the foot between the hands, stay on the ball of left foot, rise up tall into crescent. Big breath. And then lean forward with the fingers, and as you lean forward, take the wings back like we did before. Keep gazing just ahead of you off the mat. Travel onto the right foot, belly to the spine. And I want you to just hover, bringing the knees almost to tap. Strong through the upper back. Lift the chest a little, cross left leg over right leg. Sink into the hips, eagle legs. Sink down, lean forward. Nice and strong in the upper back. So we're mixing up arms and legs a bit. One more. And then take the fingers up above your head. Pause here for a moment. Notice the different sensations through the upper back. Few different muscles working as we switch them around. And then fingers forwards, right arm over the top, bend the elbows, regular eagle pose. Take a breath. Option to stay here, or crunch with me 3 times, elbows to knees, and then rising. Elbow to knee, and then rising. Last one, elbow to knee, and then rising. Release the arms, release the legs, keep a bend in the right knee, and then land it back with control, crescent. Left hand down, twist, right hand up. Lean back as far as you can. Hand to the ground, step back, downward facing dog. And then on your inhale, left leg rises. Okay, bend the knee, exhale. Knee to sky, heel to bottom. Hands push the earth away. Big, big breath. And then square the hips to the ground, soften both knees. Left leg crosses over right leg. Foot wraps around shin where we can. Weight into left hand, come onto the inside of right foot. Some of you might need to unhook your feet. And then take right hand up to the sky. Lift the hips up high here. And then reach right hand forward. And again, that feeling of release all the way through the side body. Big breath. And then right hand to the ground, ball of right foot, left leg travels back to 3-legged downward dog as you unravel. Step the foot between the hands. Stay on the ball of the right foot, rising up to your crescent. Okay, find your balance. Reach away with the heels. Nice big breath. And then just slowly start to lean forward. Take your time, and as you lean forward, open up the wings. Reach the hands back towards each other. Draw the belly in so it's away from the front thigh. And then just slowly step right foot forward, not touching the ground, knees almost tapping. Okay, and then with the chest lifted, wrap right leg over left. Squeeze legs around each other here. Strong through the arms and upper back. And then in a moment, start to reach the fingers forwards and up. So a different set of muscles working in the upper back. Ever so slightly. Keep left big toe pointing down. And then fingers forwards, right arm over the top of left. Bend the elbows, wrap the arms around each other, lift up through fingers. Option to stay here still, or 3 crunches, like we did on our backs, except standing now on one leg. Elbows and knees touch. And then inhale, rise. 2 more. Exhale, crunching. Inhale, rising. 1 more. Exhale, crunching. I'm wobbling. Don't let me be your focus. And then inhale, rising. Unwind the arms, unwind the legs, keep a bend in left knee, step it back into crescent. Take right hand to the ground, twist to the left side of the room, left hand reaching back, shoulder back as far as you can. And then lower the hand to the ground. Step back to plank. Down dog if you prefer, chaturanga. If not, choice of uplift, chest forward, shoulders back. And then tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Then look to the middle of the mat. Soften the knees, walk the feet just beyond the middle, and then lower the bottom to the middle. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees drawing out, and let's stretch out through the inner thighs here, upper back as well. Interlace the fingers around the toes. Inhale, pull through the spine. Collarbone broad. And then exhale, leaning forward. Not rounding the spine, we're kind of hinging forward from the hips here. And just notice how this feels through the groin, inside of the legs, lower back. Some of you might release the grip of the fingers and just walk them forward. And some of you will stay with hands on toes. Now, can you lightly squeeze buttocks, outer hip muscles engaged? Notice how that gives you a little bit more release through the inner thigh here. 2 more breaths. And then slowly begin to rise up to a seat when the second breath finishes. Bring the hands under the knees and just walk the feet forward. Shuffle forward a little with your bottom. Lie yourself down. And then once you're lying down, have a bend in the knees once again. Pick the feet up, shins parallel to the ground. We're going to wrap left leg over right leg. Wrap the shins around each other like an eagle grip of the legs. And just lift the hips a little, place them to the left. Left arm to left side of the room. Right hand helps the knees to come across the body towards the right side of the mat. So a twist, but with the legs wrapped. Notice how that gives a little bit more depth to the twist of the spine. Gaze wherever feels good for your neck. Two more breaths in this direction. Notice how it feels through outer hip as well as that feeling through the center of the spine itself. Last one. And then slowly come back through to center. Unwind the legs. Readjust a little to the right now. Right leg is going to cross over left. Wrap those shins and feet around each other if you can. Right hand to the right side of the mat. Knees drawing over to the left. And just notice how it feels in this direction. This side always feels more manageable or easy to get into for me. So notice how it is in your body if it's fairly similar or if one side does a little bit more talking. Try and relax the muscles around the eyes, around the mouth. Two big inhales and exhales, just clearing out through the center of our bodies. And then when that second breath is complete, just slowly unwind, come back to center, release the legs now. Either coming down into Shavasana or if you need to hug the knees in and massage the spine, feel free to do that. And then when you feel ready, legs work their way down to the ground, taking up as much space as you need to. Arms out wide or in close to the body, maybe even hands on the belly. Feet falling in whichever direction they naturally go to. And then close your eyes as we arrive into our final resting pose here, Shavasana. And just come back to that awareness of the breath. No thinking, no doing, just awareness of the here and now with every breath that you're taking. Start to bring just the smallest movements back into the fingers and the toes. When you're ready, reaching the arms up overhead, inviting a full body stretch. Knees gradually coming in towards your chest, giving them a hug as you roll a little from side to side. Eventually rolling over to rest on whichever side feels most natural for you. Pushing the ground away from you with your hands, just slowly, slowly making your way up to a comfortable seat. Just notice how you're feeling. A little bit more space through the outside line of the body, a little bit more space through the upper back and chest, both sides. Let's see if we can carry this feeling of space, focus, clarity with us into the rest of our day, the rest of this brand new week ahead. Bring our hands together at heart center. And bowing our head to our hands in gratitude for the practice, in gratitude for our health. Namaste.